here we are going to see the next point, that is the colligative properties of electrolytes. Now here what do we know, that non-electrolytes in water, they do not dissociate it. So non-electrolytes in water gives expected molar masses from their chemical product. So what is formula is there from of that non-electrolytes? They gives the exactly whatever that molecular mass along from their molecular formula or chemical formula. Now suppose we are considering for electrolytes. So electrolytes in water, we know very well that electrolytes are dissociated. So that electrolytic solution which is made from the dissolving electrolyte exhibit colligative property, but they do not obey relation of a non-electrolytes. Means what? That colligative property are greater than the non-electrolyte solution of same concentration. If we are going to take the non-electrolytic solution and the electrolytic solution of the same concentration, then we are getting the colligative property are found to be greater than the non-electrolytic solution of same concentration. So the third one, that is the molar mass of electrolytes in aqueous solution. Means if you are going to take the electrolytes dissolving in a water aqueous solution we are getting, then if you are determining the molar mass of that electrolytes in aqueous solution, then that is determined by the colligative property. Then it is found that there is a considerably lower masses or molar masses than the formula mass. Okay, so the next point, that is a colligative property of electrolytes solution are greater than those of same concentration of non-electrolyte solution. So why is it so that electrolytic solution having the highest colligative property than the non-electrolytic solution of a same concentration? Because again we knowing that electrolytes dissociated into their ions, and dissociated into ions in water, they give the 2, 3 or 4 ions depending on the chemical formula. So on dissolving, as they give the ions, there is a increase in the number of particles into the solution, and increase in the number of particle solution increases the colligative property, because we know that colligative property definition is that colligative property is nothing but the property or the physical property which depends on the number of solute particles. And here in electrolytic solution, what will happen when on dissociation in water, they give 2 or more ions than the expected on dissociation, and then obviously that number of particles are increasing, so there is an increase in a colligative property. That is, if you are going to compare with the non-electrolyte solution, then the colligative property of electrolytic solution are higher than the colligative property of a non-electrolyte solution. So we are going to take the example, that is NaCl. Now here is the 1 unit formula mass for the NaCl on dissociation or in aqueous solution. It gives the Na plus and the Cl minus. Here we started with the 1 formula unit. We are getting the 2 ions. There is nothing but the increase in a number of ions or solid particles for the colligative property. So here that colligative property is increases, whereas in sucrose solution does not dissociate into water, so it gives whatever exactly mass is there or whatever colligative property depends on that formula of that sucrose solution. Here is no dissociation is there. Okay. Next point we are going to see, that is a Van't Hoff factor. So what is meant by that Van't Hoff factor? So there is a definition for that. It is a ratio of colligative property of electrolyte to the colligative property of non-electrolyte solution of same concentration. Here the colligative property of electrolyte solution to the colligative property of non-electrolyte solution, because last point we seen that colligative properties are different than the expected for the electrolyte solution. So there is a ratio of these two solutions, that is the electrolytic solution and the non-electrolytic solution. We are getting the I, that is nothing but the Van't Hoff factor. So the colligative properties which were already seen, that are the depression in freezing point, then the elevation in boiling point, lowering of vapor pressure, and the osmotic pressure. So for Van't Hoff factor, we are going to consider the electrolytic property or colligative property for electrolytic solution and the colligative property for the non-electrolyte solution. So here is the ratio. So first is equal to I equal to delta TF upon delta TF in bracket. This is a 0. Here all zeros are there. It is for the non-electrolytes. So it is the delta TF upon delta TF bracket 0 equal to that delta TB upon delta TB 0. This is for the non-electrolyte solution. So I equal to delta P upon delta P 0. It is for the non-electrolyte solution. And then I equal to pi upon pi 0. That I is equal to pi for osmotic pressure for electrolytic solution, and pi 0 is for the non-electrolytic solution. Okay. So what is I? That I is equal to actual moles of particles in solution after dissociation. Means here we are saying that electrolyte particles or electrolytic solutes, electrolytes dissociated. So whatever number of moles actually dissociated, they are taken into consideration. So actual moles of particles in solution after dissociation, what number of particles are remaining after dissociation, upon moles of formula units dissolved in a solution. Here for how many units or how many moles of that particular solute is dissolved into the solution, that is the ratio for the I. Then I equal to formula mass of substance, formula mass of substance upon observed mass, molar mass of substance. Means you are going to take any chemical compound, then what is the formula mass? We are calculating the formula mass from that structure or that molecular formula, that is given as a formula mass of substance upon observed molar mass of substance. So that is given as I equal to m theoretical, that is a molar mass theoretical upon m observed. So for we are going to consider for the electrolytes that Van't Hoff factor. So colligative property for electrolytic solution upon colligative property of non-electrolyte solution, we are getting that I equal to 1 for non-electrolyte, because that both are the same. Then I equal to 2, that is the Van't Hoff factor is equal to 2 for the example is a KNO3 and NaCl. Now here what is happen, that KNO3 or NaCl, they are dissociated into their ions. So KNO3, if your dissociation takes place, that's K plus NO3 minus, or NaCl dissociated into Na plus and Cl minus. So that Van't Hoff factor is getting I equal to 2. Suppose we are going to put this one in that formula, that I equal to colligative property of electrolyte solution, because here are the two number of ions are formed, here two number of ions are formed, and colligative property for the non-electrolyte solution, then it is taken as a 1, because non-electrolytes do not dissociate or do not associate. So here we are getting the I equal to 2. I equal to 3 for the such solution which are Na2SO4 dissociated into 3 ions, that is a Na2, two sodium ions, and SO4 2 minus, 1 SO4 2 minus sulfate ions is there, and CaCl2. Here also we are getting the 3 particles on dissociation. So here we can say that colligative property is twice or thrice of electrolytes with respect to non-electrolytes of same concentration. Here we have the next one, that is modification of expression of colligative property. That colligative property of non-electrolyte is modified to make the applicable for the electrolyte solution. We are having that property, that lowering of vapor pressure, that is delta P equal to I, that delta P equal to P10X2. So it is modified, or delta TP equal to KB into M. We are having that relation, that delta TP TB equal to Kb into m for the equation in boiling point. Delta TF equal to Kf into m. So these equations are for the non-electrolyte or the colligative property of a non-electrolyte, which is modified for the electrolyte solution, applicable for electrolyte solution by using the Van't Hoff factor. So we are getting the first one, that delta P upon P10 is equal to I. So I, that Van't Hoff factor is multiplied, and that instead of this we are going to substitute this value, I equal to W2 M1 upon M2 into W1. The second one is the elevation in boiling point. So delta TB equal to I Kb into M. So I is there, Kb is there. So instead of molarity we are going to put this value, that is the W2 upon M2 into W1. So we are getting this equation which is applicable for the electrolyte solution. And the third one is the delta TF equal to I into Kf into M. It is given as I into 1000 Kf W2 upon M2 upon W1. And the last one is for the osmotic pressure. We are having that relation, that is pi equal to mRT. So that pi equal to mRT is getting the I equal to m, pi equal to I into mRT equal to I equal to W2RT upon M2 into B. Okay. So the next point, that is the Van't Hoff factor and degree of dissociation. Now we are saying that electrolytes are dissociated into their ions in aqueous solution, which is exactly true for the strong electrolyte, because strong electrolytes are dissociated completely. Whatever molecules or moles, number of moles are taken for dissociation, the total number of moles are dissociated in the aqueous solution. But it is not true for the weak electrolyte, because weak electrolytes, there is a extent or some extent of moles are dissociated and some are remains undissociated. So if we are considering any equation that A plus B gives C plus D, that is, suppose 1 mole, we are getting 1 mole and 1 mole. So out of this 1 mole of A and B, exactly all moles are not dissociated. Suppose here we are getting some moles from A are dissociated, 0.05 moles or 0.05 moles are dissociated, and then remaining are again 0.05 moles. So there is some of the moles are not dissociated state. So the Van't Hoff factor and degree of dissociation, we are going to take the next point, that is the relationship between the Van't Hoff factor and the degree of dissociation. Here we are going to see the next point, that is the relation between Van't Hoff factor and degree of dissociation. For this we are considering a weak electrolyte AXBY gives XA plus 2y plus aqueous solution plus y Bx minus aqueous solution. So the cations or anions are formed on the dissociation of the weak electrolyte AXBY, and the solvent is taken as a water. We will give this equation as 1. So initially there are number of moles of weak electrolytes are taken as a 1. At initial stage there is no dissociation, so that cations or anions are with the dissociation 0 moles at initial stage. So the system reached to the equilibrium state. Then at equilibrium, if we are considering the alpha moles are dissociated, then there is a 1 minus alpha moles are remains undissociated of weak electrolyte, and X alpha, X is the number of moles of cations, and Y alpha, Y are the number of moles of anions are dissociated. So what is that alpha? Alpha is nothing but the degree of dissociation. Degree of dissociation means how many moles are gets dissociated. And the X alpha, then X alpha are the moles of cation and Y alpha are the moles of anions. Now let's consider that initial state we are going to take 1 mole of electrolyte, that is a weak electrolyte for dissolving. Then alpha moles get dissociated, then 1 minus alpha moles are remains undissociated. So here we are getting that the total number of moles after dissociation that are given as a 1 minus alpha, that number of moles remains undissociated, x alpha plus y alpha, these are the moles of cations and the anions. So simplifying this equation, we are getting the 1 plus alpha in bracket x plus y minus 1. Instead of x plus y, we are going to take the n. So we are getting the equation total number of moles after dissociation equal to 1 plus alpha in bracket n minus 1. Equation 2, where x plus y is equal to n moles of ions obtained on dissociation. So here we are getting the second equation, that is 1 plus alpha n minus 1, that is for the total number of moles after dissociation. We are having that Van't Hoff factor. That Van't Hoff factor is given as a actual moles of particles in solution after dissociation, means how many particles are remaining in the solution after dissociation upon moles of formula units dissolved in solution. So initially how many moles are taken for the dissolution? It is the moles of formula units dissolved in a solution. So actual number of moles, particles or moles remains after dissociations are 1 plus alpha n minus 1, and initially we are taken as a 1 mole of weak electrolyte. So I, that is the Van't Hoff factor given by I, equal to 1 plus alpha n minus 1 upon 1. Simplifying this equation, we are getting that I equal to 1 plus alpha n minus 1, or this I is shifted to that side, we are getting that I minus 1 equal to n minus alpha, and this is solved for the alpha, that is the degree of dissociation, is equal to I minus 1 upon n minus 1. So this is the term alpha, there is a term I. So this is the relationship between the Van't Hoff factor and the degree of dissociation.